afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast. I'm your host, Imperial Dane. We're off here to a Monday novice fight. Yes, indeed. You know what that means. Strap on your special hats and get ready. For the novices will be here on the field. This means less than grand fighting. And for those that keep complaining about it, do shut up and move on. Anyways, we shall be watching Jin here fighting for the United States of America. Rolling out here for the 19th Infantry Division with Armor, Airborne and Mechanized versus Knatan. Already immediately going for Luftwaffe, fighting for the Reich and the Kampfgruppe Walter and the Oberkommando West. Already immediately noting we are seeing aggressive move forwards, but noting none of the territories actually being connected. And it seems like he's rushing here for the munitions, so it seems like there's some kind of plan here for Jin, though it does seem a bit odd. Normally you'd imagine them rushing for a fuel point, not the munitions. But already there will be a slight resource advantage into the German player despite the slight delay. He's still getting a bit more thanks to actually secured a point. So detail there already. Right, moving out here for Jin though. Moving up to connect, there we go, about time. About time. There we go, territory secured. Reaction units moving on rapidly ahead here. So far there seems to be absolutely no interest from Minacti securing his own fuel point, or at least the closest one. Men here coming under fire from the Volksgruppe. The Volksgruppe quickly dropped Ernie there in the middle of the street. He's clearly not doing too well. Coming under fire from the Sturmpioniere. Not entirely sure what he's suspecting there. That is for the northern player the closest fuel point. Well, both those I suppose reasonably close, but you only tend to go towards there. Volksgruppe taking up position in that old apartment building, or at least what remains of it.
Knock it off and listen up.
Moving ahead here, aggressively with the rifleman, third squad on the way. German Volksgruppe is moving forwards, taking in munitions there. Other munitions pot secured, still no attempt here from Jin to secure anything. Though again, the funny thing is with the resources coming of Portugal, he has actually getting them out the same fuel as his opponent. Of course, he could easily have more fuel. But right here, we do see one mistake being committed. You might be asking yourself, what's that? We're seeing a unit here basically standing out in the open. Remember, cover is large directional, so this is pretty much not applying. But basically, he's standing out in the open versus a unit in cover, in particular Volksgrenadiers versus riflemen. That's pretty much suicide for the Volksgrenadiers. So right there, he basically just fit the rifleman there. 3 easy kills. That was not very well handled there by Knatan. That was in fact pretty daft. And the same here things should be happening again. He's standing out in the open versus, though this time he actually closed in, but already here it's a bit too late. They're all taking a lot of damage, and of course moving closer to riflemen with Volksgrenadiers is again a suicide mission. So right here Knatan seems to have failed in one of the basics, which is Volksgrenadiers versus riflemen one-on-one is a bad idea. I mean, generally again I would say the Volksgrenadiers are pretty terrible infantry at the moment. They really need something else, but generally avoid something like that. And here we go again. A third repeat of this. Apparently, you know, the first 2 times were not enough. But for some reason, he actually abandons cover. Moves out in the open, which actually gives the Volksgrenadiers a slight chance. So he seems to have research grenades. Not a bad idea, though. Oh well. But still, that was a bit odd from him right now. But even then, in the end, the riflemen were able to cause massive casualty there to Knatan. And he finally, by the way, managed to secure a fuel point up there. Hooray! We are noting about 3 Volksgrenadier escorts here. Battle group headquarters going up.
Ambulance ready for action.
And already 6 kills in veterans, 1 for these gentlemen.
A capture point is under attack.
Beyond that, no further engagements, just securing territory. Victory point slightly here, and the advantage already of his opponent. Ambulance out. Some might have gone for a lieutenant or something like that first, but looks like he's getting an ambulance sort of heal up. That's not bad. Not bad. Though he might want to use his riflemen, these reassuring troops out. Rather than taking up position in the building. Good. Versus Storm Pioneers, they will not stand much of a chance there versus the broadside here. Lots of windows to shoot out from. So not bad.
Listen up, fellas. All right, you dopes. Listen
Riflemen and reassuring units could stand to move out a bit more aggressively.
Waiting orders.
And we are looking at an MG-34 here ramming for Knatan, adding some machine gun support there.
Knock it off and listen up.
Getting some men on the move, getting a 4th rifle squad away. So infantry from there, 2 Volkskriegs moving up north. Right hand side pretty much completely abandoned then. Not sure what he's intending with the MG34 here. Seems a bit peculiar. And the rest of his forces are also getting reinforced and healed up here by the battle group headquarters. Volkskriegs police is tend to move out, 2 units here. Fighting position going out for Jin to cover the munitions by the looks of it. Not entirely sure that's very effective. I mean, that's, I'd say the fuel point might have a higher priority if he decided to, then even then he could probably set it up here. We should be able to cover the victory point and the fuel point reasonably easily. And there you go. Volkskriegs coming under fire from riflemen. By the way, setting up positions, which by the way, when they're doing that, they're actually easier targets. So that's something you actually have to be careful with. Oh dear, slight mistake there. It is annoying when you sort of click on the cover and accidentally click directly on, so they've walked over it, but there we go. Running back here versus riflemen, and they're running out in front of the riflemen. Likely attempting here to get off a grenade. Stielhandgranate. By the way, not a necessarily effective throw. I mean, you sort of have to sort of try and aim at where the riflemen actually are on the building. You can just throw it anywhere. Otherwise, one actually risks, you know, nothing happening. So already here, the Volkskriegs are taking quite a bit of beating from the riflemen. In particular, since the riflemen are in a building, which definitely makes them harder to deal with. And the Volkskriegs already had taken quite some loss, in particular when they ran out there, both of them. So right there, forced to retreat. At the same time, a push going up the centre. More Volkskriegs, Fuel Pioneers, and MG34 here. Nice grenade there. And a Volkskriegs escort wiped out. So already there, the casualties beginning to pile up here for Knatan. Raketenwerfer up as well, worried about enemy vehicles, though so far there's been no sign of a lieutenant. Oh, wait, there we go. But even then, no vehicles. Though he could easily get an M20 if he so wanted. And there you go. Fighting position upgraded with a 50 caliber. Allowing Rolls to cover the victory point though reasonably well. Not too bad, I suppose. Few hundred taken. Riflemen sneaking up behind. Not bad, not bad. And setting up a Schwererpanzer headquarters. Normally though, I mean you can set it up in a base if you will, but generally most players tend to sort of set up in a slightly more important position, like say for example here next to the fuel and the victory point might be an idea. Or someone that sees a lot of action sort of reasonably well placed, so at least deter harassment from there. But, you know, setting up the base is a valid choice as well. But it's not necessarily what I'd recommend, in particular not when you're already hitting a lot of territory and this area has largely seen no action, in which case it's safe to set up to sort of protect for the future. Smoke grenade here, you know, might want to retreat, in fact, instead of just popping the smoke rifle grenade. There you go, Lieutenant moving out. But nice idea to use smoke. I mean, great to see novices actually using smoke. No issue there. MG34 getting flanked out in the open, no cover. Raketenwerfer also taking. There we go, MG34 cleared out. Not sure why I left it open like that. And there we go, quick to secure here, Jin. Good job, good job. Volkskriegs moving up, Steel Pioneers moving in as well. Need to retreat, Rückzug. Stielhandgranate, pineapple grenade in return. That was very close to there. Then again, he might. Yeah, dead. Tot.
Just wasted some of our riflemen.
Die Armies werden tot.
Alright, you dopes, listen up.
Bit of manpower here being floated. He could consider maybe setting a fuel cache if it's fuel, that's the issue. He could also choose a commander and do something with that. I mean, the options are there. The question is merely what does he opt for?
Good to go.
Further healing, further such. Slowly moving out there again, sort of minimal amounts of action. Just a bit of territory here being secured left and right. And the MG34 there pilfered from Wehrmacht stocks being moved forward to the front line. Not bad, not bad.
Knock it off and listen up. Ready. Send orders. All right, troops. Reinforcements in. All right, you guys. Make ready. We're losing.
And there you go, going for the fuel point again. I repeated him there by Knatan. Finishing up the sandbags, then making a push here with a smaller force, less well supported. Obersoldaten arriving, same might be able to help out Knatan here a bit better, if used correctly. If not, they're going to be a huge loss to the fatherland. And a reason why The Oberkommando might want to have a serious talk with Knatan then. But over to him. In fact, Volkswagen's moving forwards here. MG34 setting up in the apartment building. All men ready to fire here. Note, by the way, recruit a rifleman, so all the support gunners, they're also quite nasty, although that weapon will be able to lay down a lot of fire, not just the MG. Right here, troops out in the middle of the street, coming under fire here. The apartment building really able to lay down some vicious fire, riflemen moving in as well. Nicely clamped up position, looking good for a grenade, and there we go. In fact, grenades flying all over the place. Not sure why you aim for the Kettenwerfer and not the infantry. But there you go, the orbital now moving up. The MG34 firing right, and there we go. Engagement up here again, rifle in the building, rifle out in the open. Charging in towards the cover, but apparently all of the troops here not paying attention to them. There you go, retreating, need to focus on the other unit. Orbs are down here, stopped by the MG34. Their own MG44 can't touch the one in the building very well. Another grenade here against its Volksgrenadiere. And forces the T while going for the other fuel pond as well. Good job there by well, not Knatan, but Jin, who's in fact now floating almost 1,000 manpower. And again, we're almost 10 minutes into the game. Again, you know, spend the resources. If you're not sure what to do, just train something or build caches, if you can. I mean, the other commanders, you can occasionally understand why it's not possible, but for the Americans, there's really no excuse for flooding manpower, to be honest. And certainly not this early into the game. Troops reinforcing. Looks like a Aufklärungspanzer is on the way, based on the Panzer II. So to get a bit more out of it. Also, a little fun fact about the Lux, there was actually one made that actually had the same gun and turret as the Puma. Very little fun fact. Only one made though. I think it actually fought on the Western Front, but it's a sort of fun little detail.
The battle is about to commence. Light tank ready for action.
And there we go, rolling out. Ready to strike down some cannon. Let's see if we can actually make something out of it. But quickly losing terrain, giving up terrain. No mines laid down really from him. Rifleman out here in front of the storm panels in the middle of the road. Veteran 2 here. Good, good. MG34 setting up here to cover that point. I suppose that's not too bad. Storm panels are losing up to the rifleman, interestingly enough. But there we go, the Lux rolls through the streets. Looks furiously. Ha ha ha. Looks like the right lieutenant staying up position there. He could push up for here as well. And again, floating a ton of resources. Come on. Again. Looks engaging. Point blank here, firing away with this auto cannon, tearing through those armored cannon as if though they were sacks of meat, which I suppose in some sense they are.
Valiant assault is now at hand. The troops await your command.
At least once the Lux is done with them. And there you go, the MG34 quickly realising what danger they are and quickly retreat there. Parading past the Lux and its Volksgrenadiers. He could easily have followed up. They got further closer to them, sort of really leads them down. In fact, it might be cleared up, but now it's a bit too late there. Entire unit that almost wiped out. Major setting up position here. You know, there's nothing wrong with establishing a retreat point, but... And now I'm just going to be a bit pedantic here, probably, but... Why set it up right next to your base? That's pointless. I mean, that'd be the same as, you know, he upgraded this one and set it up to be a retreat point right next to his base. I mean, that would be a lot more expensive, but there's no reason for this. That's just silly, Jin. Silly, Jin. Don't be silly. Movements. Well, by the way, noting no anti-tank support, no bazookas, no capture, no nothing. No safe doctrine response either for maybe dealing with it. No anti-tank guns being dropped from airborne. No M10 tank destroyers. You might be able to get this storm pilots moving in there, taken down by the riflemen. Interesting enough, no attempt to sneak up the forces right next to the building and shooting down. Luke's advancing. The orbital dart sneak out on a mission on their own on the left flank. Quick grenade there, good job, but the Lux is on the job there. Driving up close for some extra close quarters murder action. Nice anti-tank rifle grenade there. You could see the rifle here going down. Nope, nope, looks like they got a bit lucky. Rifle here coming, or orbital coming, and there we go. Gebaldeladung. An old World War I tactic, by the way, used by the stormtroopers. Basically just a bunch of steel-hung grenade warheads well, bailed around an actual steel-hand Knatan. It was actually also used as an improvised anti-tank grenade in the early stages of World War II, as it was then actually reasonably effective to deal with the thinner arm of tanks in that stage of the war there. Still lots of troops hanging about there, making good movement for the cut-off points, though he might also want to take this one to cut off the fuel from here. Lieutenant retreating in the face of the mighty Obersoldaten. Officer school did not train me for this, only for enjoying coffee and smokes and shouting at my subordinates. Not getting shot at by Germans. Trading munitions for fuel, not bad, not bad. But again, sort of a bit messy going on from both players. There doesn't seem to be an overall coherent strategy going on. Just throw whatever at the wall and see if it sticks. Occasionally that, I mean, there are some flashes here of something bigger going on, but... Also, fun fact, don't drop your airborne right into the midst of the enemy. The Germans tried that at Crete. They won, but they took a lot of casualties. In fact, it was what the Führer caused them to sort of drop the larger airborne operations, dropping the troops too close to the enemy. Of course, the British then proceeded to do the exact opposite at Market Garden, which surprisingly didn't turn out to be a great idea, which is drop them too far from the enemy. They generally wanted to find the right spot for dropping airborne in. That, though, too close. Too close. That was definitely a Crete drop there. Sherman arriving. And again, I mean, you know, this... A very bold move there from Jin, you know. Or maybe a bit edgy. He wants, you know, be a bit hit there. Not like everybody else who places their forward retreat points, you know, away from the base. You know, he's being really cool there. At least I'm not sure how to otherwise put that. Fallschirmjäger arriving here supporting the Kampfgruppe. It's the elite Fallschirmjäger. And certainly by the later stages of war, the Germans were not very much airdropping them, except for a very small set of operations here and there. For example, the rescue of Mussolini in Italy, and there was a small drop during the event, but there we go. Should have seen the Obersoldaten here, in this case an easy kill for Jens Sherman. A waste of good German Soldaten. It looks like another Obersoldaten unit has arrived. Getting the fuel point back here. I mean, again, there's hardly a front line. Both players largely have a lot of the units at the base, and then note now Jin's basically just shifting one unit at a time. He's sending them piecemeal. There's no overall organised effort. And certainly they can be a bit more struggling for a lot of newer players to do that, but still, you have to make the attempt, otherwise you won't get good at it. I mean, you really have to sort of try that. I mean, just, you know, do it in small steps, you know, just stick to smaller parts of the map at a time and then slowly expand, but, you know, don't just have a lot of units doing a bugger all. That's only to the opponent's advantage. Nice rifle unit there combined with 50 caliber shooting. Sherman might want to move in, and we also see some Pathfinders up now. Lovely, lovely. Finding the path to tread. Looks not doing much either. Both players, in fact, a bit passive. Let's just beat this a bit up. I mean, again, you know, try to be active, try to pressure your opponent, try to sort of more properly harass, don't just stand about doing nothing. Altering to note, he's actually gone for submachine guns for his paratroopers. On this map, I can actually understand. I mean, on this map, it certainly favours submachine guns a bit. So it's not necessarily a bad idea. The LMGs would also be nice. Right, then getting the Fallschirmjägers there with the Thompsons. Or Tommy guns. Sending the Fallschirmjäger running. Looks like another unit wiped out there, but there we go. Of course, there's a quick response. The Lux, since of course the anti-tank gun is apparently finally been dropped. I mean, another issue there. I mean, it's taking them ages to sort of properly respond to the fact that the opponent has a light tank out. Though again, Knatan has really failed to make any sort of great advantage out of it. I'm sure he could easily have had a lot more kills on it. But anti-tank gun finally setting up. M1 firing there. The more regular anti-tank gun actually available to American infantry. I mean, they did have the bigger M5, but partly that actually required to be towed around on the battlefield due to being actually pretty big. And also, well, when it came to the anti-tank guns, the Americans were a bit confused. Generally, American anti-tank doctrine was actually quite confused, but overall, none of them actually wanted the anti-tank guns, and essentially they ended up in the tank destroyer arm, which basically meant there was sort of more sort of separate battalion bases in it, whereas otherwise the regular anti-tank available to anyone would have been this one, the M1. But Felton is engaging it. Really should consider pulling that back instead of making an easy target here for some Fallschirmjäger, and Time for the mid-game analysis already here. The battle raging back and forth, both players basically cautiously making advances, moving their troops ahead, but you know, no real big pushes made, no real big gains made. And something that certainly could be looked into, but I mean, for the current moment, Knatan needs to get this pulled back. I mean, he's got now a mechanized regiment headquarters. The easy thing would do basically just reverse move it back there and have that repaired. I mean, the less time you're spending on that kind of stuff, the better. And that kind regard, you know, the mechanized regiment headquarters is a small blessing to the Oberkommando West, and it allows you to basically, you know, not having to bother with more than just moving units up, and the repairs will be sorted out after that. So really take advantage of that whenever you are as the Oberkommando West. Take advantage of your mechanized regiment headquarters as much as humanly possible in that regard. He's also got a lot of units out here. I mean, currently, I mean, he's just basically sort of, you know, taking points here and there. Again, he should try and sort of center up a strategy, you know, around these points here. Maybe have a unit here like MNF on MG, some mines, maybe a trench around here, you know, set up some slight defenses, and then slowly push towards you, and then push towards the enemy's base. I mean, he can do that. Overall, he could, you know, nicely keep his opponent contained, then sort of slowly push him off the map, doing alright in that department. So it's something to consider there already. I'm pretty sure he would benefit from it nicely in terms of armor. He could save for a Panther, or, considering the overall situation right now, he could be a bit bold and try to aim for the King target. And he's got all 3 trucks, so unless his opponent really pushes out a lot of armor all of a sudden, though again with the way he's been unable to hold the fuel points, and again not spending a lot of manpower towards fuel caches, you know, that's not going to be very likely then. But over to Jin here. Mr. Too Cool for School Jin. Sort of a mix of units there. He's actually got some armor out, that's great. He's got an anti-tank, and that's also great. Though he needs to save it unless he wants to hand it over to opponent, which I'm sure will be great for Knatan. But again, just as much as it applies to Knatan, Jin sort of needs to figure out what does he actually want to hold, what does he want to sort of fight from here, or here and here. I mean, you know, again, also suggest sort of a starting tip, you know, find 2 victory points in the surrounding area to sort of fight from and take it from there. I mean, the 2 victory points sort of, you know, and then the center spot there should essentially be your Schwerpunkt or center of gravity, if you will. With reserves, and then you have some lighter forces guarding either point or something like that. But currently, that's not quite what's happening in. Jin should sort of try and aim for that and then push his opponent off the field. Again, he's got a tank. His opponent's got barely any anti-tank weapons. A good flank, for example, from around here could actually do a lot of damage to Knatan. He could lose to Lux, he could lose to Raketenwerfer, he could lose a lot of infantry. And again, it basically just requires that Jin gets off his arse and actually attacks, which again, you know, a lot of the units are basically too much around here or standing about doing nothing. I mean, he for example got this fighting in position with re-echelon units in it doing absolutely bugger all for a larger part of the fight. Though, I mean, with re-echelon troops, I mean, this is probably one of the best methods, though at the same time it certainly could have been placed perhaps a bit more at the front line. So I mean, there are some things there to consider, but he needs to push forward. He needs to aim for a fuel cache at the very least, get some more armor out, push for the other fuel point. I mean, the more you can disrupt your opponent's fuel, the better. But again, push for these 2, harass around here, then slowly make your way towards securing these 2 points as well. If you can do that over again, he could do quite well. Strike from armor, for example, around here. Try to get behind the positions with some infantry as well. He needs to actually get some infantry support up support. For example, the paratroopers could be a good move there with the submachine guns and also the tactical assault ability. Or some grenades. I mean, sneaking up here and then hitting from behind could do a lot of damage to Knatan under the right condition. I mean, you shouldn't know that, for example, the Lux is actually heavily damaged, so if you can catch that and knock it out, that's going to be a huge win for him. But again, you know, more resource expenditure, build up resources, get more armor on the field. Also, right now, a howitzer carriage could actually be quite handy as well, versus all the infantry and the lighter positions as well. You know, keep up the pressure, deny resources, in particular fuel. Always try to deny fuel, and of course munitions as well. Though of course he doesn't know about this part, you know, that he's actually trading munitions for fuel, but still, never hurts to do that as well when fighting versus the Oberkommando West. So that's rather how things are looking there. But let's get back to a fight. Anti-tank trying to get away here. And again, the response from Jin is overwhelmingly passive. Oh, we do see some rifling sent in, but again, not the larger force here. MG34 opening up, stopping the fight from me again. There you go, forced away. Paratroopers moving ahead there with their Thompson submachine guns. A powerful submachine gun actually firing some pretty heavy rounds. 45 caliber, in fact. Something like that. Rather powerful rounds. There was a bit heavier to maintain it like a round and also make, and looks like a lot of stuff is actually being dropped in all of a sudden. What is he planning? Sherman moving up. And apparently we're seeing a large airdrop here on the northern street, and with them a 50 caliber as well. A bold move, a bold move. You know, he could also just move up some other troops here. Of course, actually move up them, set up a beacon, because remember you can use the beacon to reinforce nearby troops. Again, something players seem to forget. Well, actually you can only reinforce paratroops our way, sitting up here. Sherman not covering, again moving up now and seemingly in a bit of a clump here. Not securing territory, not securing buildings. Anti-tank are not really well positioned either. Come on, Jin, make an effort out of it. Well, Uncle Sam will be disappointed in you. How to get that NG-34 out there? I mean, again, you could pop it up here, you could pop it up here. Here, I mean, there are a lot of options. Make use of them. And there we go. What was on here again by the lieutenant and friends. They'll use up in heavy cover. Fights moving up, Fox moving in as well. Looks like a larger firefight's breaking out here. Grenade against the orbital, done, well done, well done. Half the unit wiped out. Orbital needs to go. More grenades going off here. Grenades being locked left and right. Fights retreating. Orbital continued to fire away. Looks like in the end, the units out in the open were torn down by the Germans and the orbital down there, although it was a rather close fight. And the losses here to Reich were heavy at the same time. Looks moving forwards here. Coming out from the Sherman. Veterans E2 though. Could be knocked out any time now. No, focus. Why is he not shooting at the Looks? Oh well, dealing with the infantry instead. And like CoH, which actually makes them harder to hit for the Sherman, remember that. So that's actually overall to the advantage of the infantry, produces them a panzering up that close. But now he's trying to get even closer, sort of negate that. And there we go, getting some kills there on the Kraut. Although KNF has arrived. In fact, the Sherman's almost wiped out. That was not the most well-handled thing there by Jin. In fact, he's close to losing his Sherman. They gained veterans 1. Fighting continued right from almost wiped out, needs to retreat. And again, you know, why were the MG-44, was the MG-44 not set up for some as well? I mean, overall, there's, you know, sort of rather crude tactics there from Jin. Basically just move everybody up, not set up position, for example. Again, had he sort of split up and spread out more properly, I imagine the assault there from Knatan would have been a lot less successful. Or had the MG-34 been there, I mean, all the infantry that attacked from there would have been cut down, but again, it was back here. I mean, there's overall a lack of sort of tactical acumen here from Jin. Just basically throw infantry at the enemy and see what happens. Seems to be largely what's going on from him here. No proper machine gun placement, no, you know, proper spread on the infantry or usage of cover. And remember, you're airborne with the submachine guns that actually need to be close, which again means you sort of have to sort of sneak up on the opponent. Always try to sort of hide. Only want the opponent to see it in the last moment possible. Otherwise, I really suggest it gone for the light machine gun instead. And Pathfinders are being attacked by Fallschirmjägers from several sides. Looks like the Fallschirmjägers will show them the path to hell. Run, Forrest, run! Oh, never mind.
Just got a report of an infantry unit being wiped out.
And there we go. Beacon knocked out. Sherman being repaired here. Advancing up the centre. Good. All the victory points. But again, a lot of, well, nothing happening. Spinning this over again. I mean, there's a lot of times where basically both players seem a bit clueless as what to do. There's no real sort of aggressive, and again, both players several times just stand about doing nothing, have a lot of your units in the base, trying to figure out what to do. Which, certainly at this level, is not so excused, but again, versus any better opponent, that's going to be a battle, it's only going to keep you from getting any better. Fox is in a very bad situation versus Lieutenant. I mean, that's pretty much a guaranteed loss right there. And there you go, another unit wiped out. Left-hand side, they're getting lost here to the Fallschirmjäger again. Orbital done working together. Sherman could drive towards that, but already getting repaired. Another one on the way. Might help. Also, now we got the P-47 Rocket Strafe. Rocket Wraith. Which then pushed away. And there you go. Caught here by the 50 caliber and Rearslin units. Sherman could move in, but it's not. And there you go, catching the MNF. Can he deal with it? No, he was actually moving past it, allowing it just enough time to get out of there. And again, the MD-34 doing nothing. He could have had it up here covering things, but he didn't. I mean, again, it's very much piecemeal operations here from both players. No overarching strategy or tactics. And no real tactical sense. In a good scene. Right here, for example, the rifle just standing back. No attempt at an anti-tank rifle grenade at the very least here. Versus the Luke's that close. So finally he gets his Sherman moving. And there you go. In fact, he lost an entire unit there. Terrible unit preservation. He did not retreat there. Instead, he ended up losing an entire unit there, like to the Looks, and that certainly actually took some time. It wasn't something that happened bloody instantaneously. Sherman over here versus the Looks. Looks like some use being clear, and now he's calling in a rocket strafe. And a rocket strafe, by the way, versus the Looks he just knocked out. I mean, that's just a waste of resource. There was no good reason to call in a rocket strafe like that. No good reason. I mean, that's just basically overkill. Plus, of course, remember, rocket strafes are a bit inaccurate. The bigger the target, the slower the target, the better. Our Looks is quite the opposite of that. So that was overall just a waste of 240 munitions. I mean, just imagine if for all the resources Knatan going forward as a king. Oh, wait, it is. So basically, he just threw away his biggest ace up his sleeve right there for Looks. I mean, there was no good reason for that. No good reason. You should have waited for a much bigger, tastier target. And again, what is happening here? Lots of units standing around doing bug roll. I mean, again, map control not really strong either, because what happens? Not a lot. Same here with his opponent, just like units standing around several times, doing nothing. And again, so many units standing around doing nothing. I mean, be active, don't be passive. Get moving. And, you know, again, you might say, well, you know, they're novices. Again, they need to be seen, but again, it needs to be pointed out. It needs to be, you know, said. And it needs to be pointed out they actually need to make better efforts here. Because, I mean, this is not acceptable in the slightest. This is too much. I mean, this is just entire units saying about doing nothing for minutes. I mean, that shouldn't even have to be pointed out. But now we got a King Tiger moving out, and we also know again what are the forces like for Jin. Again, not really looking good. 2 Shermans, an anti-tank, and in poor health, and again poor position. No anti-tank, mind you, of course, he couldn't, you know, say gone for an M20 yet, and finally getting the MD-34 out, but now, of course, in a very bad position again. And now things are just falling apart here for Jin. Units getting murdered. Wrecked. Fighters are murdered. Again, you know, keep in mind when you connect to the building usually from several sides. In this case, there's actually 2 exits to this building, one on this side, one on this side. You can usually control it by selecting the unit in question. I'll just use an example, and then you click, right click, for example, that's all says exit, on whatever side you want to get out on. So right, he actually willingly moved his Fallschirmjägers out in front of the rifle while they were low on health. Not good. Keep that in mind. Little pro tip there. Back to Knatan. Shermans are now attacking the base. Interesting. Straight into all these, and of course, I mean, from the front they won't be doing much, but if you actually expose the rear side to them, they will actually do a bit of damage. Plus, of course, the 2 Panzerschrecks here. And note what he then proceeds to do. He focuses down the flag emplacements, not the infantry. With the Panzerschrecks, they actually do a lot more damage. I mean, overall, this is not exactly the wisest choice here by Jin. This one actually got abandoned. But now he should actually consider getting up, but he actually continues to fight on here. Again, exposing the rear of the Sherman to several flat emplacements, which actually allows them to penetrate much easier and actually do some damage. So right there, again, for no good reason, wasted 2 Shermans. I mean, a base rate can work, but generally you need more than just 2 tanks. 2 medium tanks won't really be able to sort of knock out a base, in particular when you also got, say, a King Tiger, which can be able to react in time, knock everything out. I mean, had those two, say, been 2 KVH, there might have been a chance. Back when it wasn't nerfed, but, you know, again, keep such things in mind. Fortunately, they're making a really bad move. They're actually moving up to the paratroopers, and in this case, the paratroopers are too low on health. So, a small victory here for Knatan. Again, due to poor unit preservation and tactical use there by Jin. And now he's actually barely got any units left. He just lost a ton of infantry, a ton of equipment, a ton of tanks. And the anti-tank gun is still exposed on its own. Never mind, he could easily be outflanked because it's just covering one street, and not a very important street either. I mean, overall, Jin is not exactly handling this very well. But again, you know, lots of units standing back doing nothing again. And always try to sort of train yourself to actually sort of be having your units do something at all times. I mean, if you can find yourself with units doing about nothing, well, nothing for several minutes, unless there's a really good reason, like a really important spot that needs to be held, I mean, that really shouldn't be happening. Nice move there with a smoke grenade and a follow-up grenade there, but, you know, beyond that, nothing to really sort of be impressed with. But again, nice use of smoke by Jin, but that's really the only thing I can sort of say that is nicely done by him, I fear. Jackson tank is still on the way here. King Tiger moving ahead. Again, not a lot happening. Again, that's something, you know, novices need to work on. At least they're not floating resources anymore, and of course the other one is just basically, again, you know, unit preservation. Clearing up this bit, and yes, again, sorry for speeding up, but I mean, there's not really much else to comment on besides, you know, get moving, you lazy bastards, or silly bastards, slow bastards, I don't know. And of course, now we got a Deutsche Sherman here moving about. The Germans would somewhat half regularly catch enemy tanks and use them. They certainly had no issues against using enemy tanks. And occasionally they could in fact outfit entire companies using enemy tanks they'd captured. I'm not entirely sure what he's doing pointing in that direction. I mean, there's no good reason for that. Infantry tank here across open ground versus the King Tiger. Rather suicidal there for Jin. Again, speeding up. There could have been something towards him and shifting away from the King Tiger and all the infantry supporting it. Trying to attack elsewhere, try to draw them into some lines of fire you're better prepared, but instead, you know, it's not quite happening. In fact, let's just note here a lot of the arcs of fire of the anti-tank is actually heavily obscured, so they can't actually fire a lot off. MNF here coming this part of the road, moving in the tank, so there's a tank. In this case, it does not seem like Knatan's aware of it. But moving up here versus 2 low health Fallschirmjägers. Not well done there by Knatan. In fact, most of his infantry now looking a bit worse for wear. And again, speeding up because there's no sort of heavier response from Knatan. No armored response, the tanks again are just doing nothing. But there you go, King Tiger command to fire. From the tank destroyer. Anti-tank guns, so by the way, oh, there we go, moving them up, rather than moving in, though not entirely sure why. You should know there's a King Tiger about, and generally you don't want to be out in the open versus a King Tiger. I mean, that's definitely suicide. I mean, that thing requires all 3 other trucks and a lot of resources for a reason. No sign of the Jackson or the anti-tank is moving up to support, by the way. Oh, there we go, anti-tank confounding. No sign of the armor piercing rounds, though, which could be good because of increased penetration. Damage engineer on the Sherman. Jackson moving up. Again, lots of units doing nothing. Anti-tank, oh, machine guns not being used forward to sort of do something, or at least try something. And certainly with the lack of infantry, I mean, he's lacking eyes and ears on the ground now to sort of do some further pressure. Airborne dropping up straight in front of the enemy. Oh dear, he's committing another creep there. Sherman taking here, the hits then, almost got it, there we go. Sherman knocked out. King Tiger down to half health. Almost, and there we go. Down to half health. Jackson can fire at it. Enter tanking as well. Take aim and shoot with the armor-piercing rounds. Don't move closer, don't move closer, within range. Foxy makes a ping now. Switch over to armor-piercing rounds, there we go. But again, he moved it too close. There's no reason to move your tank gun too close. In particular not when it's an American one with, you know, take aim. The other one also rather exposed. Now, of course, Jackson is too close and knocked out. So right there, while Knatan could have lost it, Jin basically made several fatal mistakes which overall allowed the King Tiger to actually kill the crew, escaping death. And now there's basically nothing left here for Jin. At least he's scavenging stuff, that's good, that's good. He's not pulling, for example, by the way, the King Tiger back here for repairs. He could do that. Oh, there we go. Took him some time. Points ticking down. Troops moving up and being quickly pushed back. The captain, for some reason, joining the field battle all of a sudden. And there we go. Game over. Again, sorry for speeding things up. And again, too many times, the players simply weren't doing anything. I mean, again, several times, units were just basically standing about as if they were in the biggest picnic in an urban ruin, which really doesn't make much sense. I mean, again, always, and again, I have to really much stress this, try to always have your units doing something. Again, the only times where you can really say, you know, you can allow units to stand about doing something, well, just watching, is again, if it's a very important point you've identified as this is important, this is integral to the defense or watch of your opponent, again, then you can get away with it. But again, it also needs to be able to act to do something. I mean, in several cases, this was not the case. They were units standing about at the base. They were units standing about, you know, far removed from the front line, doing nothing. That's bad. Also, the way, you know, several times they just sent one unit, get it killed, send them one unit, get it killed. I mean, you know, try to coordinate them, try to work them, and then of course when he then tried to move up more, it was just very basic, it was just moving them up there, and then no real attempt using car, which then make things easier. Also, you know, if you are going to set up a fort position, whether you're a major, do it further away from the base, please. But again, overall, there was just, you know, poor usage of units, poor preservation, but again, you know, just passiveness, just inactivity. I mean, that's really something you need to sort of work on before anything else. Alongside unit preservation, which again was quite, you know, rampant here. I mean, units standing out in the open versus units not out in the open. That was, for example, terrible right there for Knatan. And also the way he managed to get his tank backed up there, but somehow still managed to win because, again, you know, he moved the anti-tank gun too close. Be mindful of that as well. I mean, there are a lot of lessons to sort of be learned from this one. Again, you know, be active. Unit preservation as always. Spend your resources. Don't float manpower if you have to. Get some more infantry, get some anti-tank guns, to get some caches. Something like that. And also try to coordinate things and also have an overall arcing strategy. I mean, that was really one of the things that also seemed to be lacking from both players, and just sort of things happened a bit like, oh well, we'll see what happens once I throw some units there. I mean, the only nice thing I can sort of comment on is that Jin used smoke, and well, that's about it really. Jin used smoke. So there you go. I hope you learned something from this Monday Novice fight. I hope this made you a bit wiser and a bit less novice. If you did want to subscribe, tell your friends, share it with everyone. If not, you know, send in a replay and provide some feedback in the comments. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.